Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome again to our tax savings. Tuesday, today is April 9, few days from now. It's already tax deadline, so that's why we're bringing you more tips in able to make sure that you're filing your tax and planning your taxes correct. So again, I'm Christopher Waikoko, Chief Marketing Officer of Virtual Accounting and Financial Planning Services, Waiko Tax. Today, we're going to talk about what are the different type of business insurance for you to start. So it's not just going to be me, but I would have my guest that would help me to walk with through this. He's also the one handling all my insurances. That's why I would like to introduce to you no other than he has a 10 years of experience in the tech, E&O, and cyber liability space. Also graduated at Purdue Global and Masters at Business Administration. Licensed property and casual agent since 2007. Broker since 2011 and Provisors member. Then also a Golden Key Honor Society member. Let us all welcome no other than Damian Davis. Damian, how are you doing?
I'm all right, Chris. How about yourself?
I'm good. Yes, thank you for coming today, and it's really important for us about to talk about insurance. But by the way, before anything else, I'd like to talk to our guests that are all live and watching. If you have questions, this is only less than 30 minutes. Feel free to type your questions on the chat section, and we will check it later. Also, you can follow us on our Facebook, Waiko Tax, and on our YouTube channel. And information of this is only for educational purpose. This is not meant for any tax or legal advice. Also, Damien, by the way, how did you celebrate your eclipse?
I'm sorry. How did I celebrate what?
Yeah, where did you watch the viewing of total eclipse yesterday?
Oh, yeah. I was actually in the Bishop Arts district. That was where a lot of the science community was. So I got a lot of the background and information and things that I don't know about. So it was a good time. Very, 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 very interesting to say the least.
I know, and this is like once every decades. That's what I heard. So having that scene witness on our generation, it's a big what milestone, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm. Okay, let's talk about milestone. Can you tell us more how about your background and also the business, your
Sure,
company?
sure, absolutely. Yeah. So I hail from an underwriting or commercial insurance underwriting background. I have a total of 12 years experience in the commercial liability insurance underwriting space. I primarily wrote technology errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance for companies of all sizes. So that's from the smallest $0 in revenue startup company all the way to companies in excess of $5 billion. And in that time, worked on a little bit of errors and omissions insurance, directors and officers, and ultimately working on different lines of business like that, working with different classes of business. It gives you a really sort of granular view and an opportunity to really understand the different perils involving cyber liability insurance, how they affect different classes of business.
Mm.
Different organizations, they collect different types of information. They collect them differently. Some of them are subject to certain regulations. Some of them, are subject to having, certain types of controls in place, more so than others. So, the idea is that, leveraging that 12 years of experience that I have and
Mm.
that sort of permeates throughout our organization as we continue to grow, we look to bring not only the knowledge of insurance products, particularly on
Yeah.
the tech, on cyber liability front, but
Mm.
also, leveraging the strategic partnerships that we have to bring added value services to our clients in the cyber liability space and the cyber breach space on both incident response, so that's post breach service, as well as pre-breach services. So involving
Mm.
anything setting up any kind of multi-factor authentication, log
Yes.
management, IT, remote
Mhm.
IT services, remote CISO services. We look to leverage the strategic partnerships that we have to bring those added value services to companies in the small and medium-sized business space.
Yeah, it's for example, especially me on what we do is virtual accounting. Uh, what is the most important thing that you're checking first before insuring the company?
Right. Yeah. So from a technology perspective, we really want to bring one of our third party providers in, so that we leverage a company called ITQ. They're a
Uh-huh.
managed service provider that's really focused on servicing companies in the small business and middle market space. They take a very boutique approach. So just a little bit of information. A lot of times when you set up services with a managed service provider, some of them take the approach where they want to manage what's called the entire stack. So they want to basically control your overall IT and infosec management posture. But then you have some companies that will take a little bit more of a boutique, a more granular approach, and they'll come in and they'll handle the assessment. They'll work with the client to determine what their needs are. They'll work with their budget. And so we find that works better for a lot of our clients. It's certainly a better talking point for a lot of our clients. Um,
Mhm.
and then from there, we'll determine whether or not we can put together a viable solution to go to the insurance market and get
Yeah.
the best terms as well as the best pricing for our clients. Oftentimes, we do find in the small business space, particularly when it comes to companies say start up to 5 million revenue, we find that sometimes the budget, right, is just not there to invest in the infosec posture that they need to effectively cover their business, and that can definitely impact their ability to procure insurance,
Mhm.
the limits that they can procure, the retentions or deductibles that are applied to the policy, as well as the cost. And so for that, we leverage a company called Concierge Cyber, who provides cyber incident response services on a subscription basis, which oftentimes comes out to be merely a fraction of the cost of cyber insurance. So oftentimes that works better for the clients.
Yeah. What would you say for people that are startup? That if they ask you how important is having an insurance for a company?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I always, comically, of course, I always reference in training day when Denzel asked, "Do you want to go to jail or do you want to go home?" I always kind of say, when the claim happens, do you want to pay 100% of it, or do you only want to pay a small fraction of it? Meaning, pay the deductible or pay the retention, which again is usually only a small fraction of what an overall claim might cost any given client.
Right.
So, ultimately, what we really try to do is educate folks on
Mm.
the importance of transfer of risk. The fact of the matter is that looking at cyber insurance and cyber liability, the fact of the matter is that the chances of a cyber incident putting or causing a small business to close their doors is much greater than perhaps a slip and fall, which is what a general liability policy might respond to, or wind or hail damage
Mm.
that a commercial property policy might respond to. In 2023, we found that around 64% of small businesses had to close their doors as a result of a data breach, and that number actually jumped to 82% when ransomware was involved. So, the fact of the matter is, if you kind of, just to put it in context, right? If AWS or Amazon gets hit with a $50 million ransom, sure, they have a huge
Yeah.
insurance tower that might cover that. But even if they didn't, I mean, $50 million for them is a speed bump in the grand scheme of things. But how many small businesses could weather the storm of a $50,000, maybe even a $10,000 ransom? If their system is hacked, right? Even if their information is backed up, if those backups are compromised, copied and deleted, and then they're forced to pay. At that point, you really just got to get your checkbook out, and the question is, can you sustain or not? So
Yes.
that's kind of the harsh reality that we really try to help our clients to see.
Yeah, actually, we're just insurance are like slices of pizza. You mentioned some different type of insurance. Pizza has like slices of pizza that they serve their different purposes, right? So we talk about cyber insurance. I think you mentioned that it covers data breach, correct?
Mhm.
And then you mentioned that there's a surge increased number. What do you think is the main contributing factor of hacking?
Yeah, I would say really the main motivation. Well, first of all, the main motivation is money, right?
Uh-huh.
Everybody wants to get paid. Ransomware as a service is definitely a growing business. One of the things that we're seeing is that as we see a lot of layoffs in the cybersecurity space,
Yes.
one of the things that I would encourage companies to look out for, and this is something that the cyber insurance policy does address, is the employee dishonesty, or perhaps even rogue employees who, were, terminated, they lost their jobs, and then as a result attempted to retaliate against the company by, stealing information, stealing money, attempting to harm the company's image or identity. Again, specifically focusing on the cyber peril. Again, a lot of cybersecurity professionals are transitioning over to the ransomware as a service world, and because it is very lucrative for them. So that's one of the things I would say is definitely there's the motivation of money.
Yes.
So certain organizations have ideological motivations. We hear a lot about attacks coming from different nation states. Those
Uh-huh.
are some of the things that folks have to look out for, depending on the class of business that they're in. If they're doing anything, involving any kind of politics or anything geopolitical stuff like that. Those are kind of some of the exposures to look out for.
Yes.
And then the other thing, I would also add too, is that it's just a lot of what we hear from small businesses is they might say, well, I'm too small, I'm not a target, or
Yeah.
they might say, well, I don't have a lot of data. But the overall exposure in terms of cyber liability has really morphed.
Uh-huh.
I would say over the last 12 years that I've witnessed it, that I've been in the industry. The fact of the matter is, it's not just about compromised data anymore. You have classes of business, say like construction, for example. They don't have a lot of data. They don't have a lot of customer data. They may have some third-party confidential or corporate confidential information, documents involving like, drawings for, architectural drawings, or, maybe perhaps some IP, trade secrets, things like that. But ultimately they have financial information. And again, there's that
Yes.
motivation of money that comes back to it. And when there's not a lot of data that can be leveraged, then the next thing is, well, can we gain access to the bank account, right? How much is
Mhm.
in the bank account? And then, again, from that point, if you don't have the proper protections in place, whether it be, pre-breach, like I said, I mentioned before, controls involving multi-factor authentication, any kind of endpoint detection and response. Nowadays, folks are really looking to leverage, zero trust authentication. If you don't have at least any kind of like backup protection, the system, any kind of backup system in place. Those are kind of the things that the bad actors are looking for, and they understand that, particularly in the small business space, those controls are really lacking. So, those are some of the, I would say, the real motivations behind, bad actor behavior.
Yeah, and so we discussed about the cyber insurance, which is one slice of the pizza. I do have a client. He's putting a med spa. This is a startup business. He says med spa where clients are coming into his clinic, and then also he's selling some cosmetic products. What are the basic insurance that he needs to have to start his business?
Yeah. So it sounds like he has a physical location. So I
Yes.
also, you want to start with general liability.
General.
I don't want to underscore the slip and fall, right?
Yes.
I don't want to underscore any kind of, advertising a tort or anything that a general liability policy is designed to cover.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times when folks have leases, the lease, the owner of the building requires that there is some commercial property insurance in place. Whether they're buying the building, whether
Uh-huh.
they're renting, just something to cover either their property or any building property that might be damaged. Um,
Mm.
I would also, say if he's providing a professional service, there's EMI, right?
Yeah.
Mission.
Consultation. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
professional
Professional
liability
liability.
as well.
Yeah.
We don't, for organizations such as a startup that doesn't have a large number of, directors or officers, right? They don't have like a board of directors or anything like that. We wouldn't really delve into directors and officers insurance, but
Yeah.
certainly if they have employees, we would recommend some type of work comp, perhaps employers liability insurance, definitely employment practices liability insurance, which is, again, that's something I would say is huge for any business that has employees. If nothing else, the insurance, I think, motivates you to, keep your policies and procedures in place, your employee handbook in place, code of conduct,
Uh-huh.
harassment policies and training, things like that. And then again, not to be underscored, but just want to kind of spread the love amongst all of the other different products. But really, again, the bread and butter, I think, is the cyber insurance. Uh, you know,
Cyber. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because that also deals with electronic transaction when they charge clients. So those
Absolutely.
informations need to be also protected. But at the same time, I know there's another one, the employment insurance. I forgot the name of that. Do you guys also offer that where you give some sort of insurance for people that employees uh, unlawful termination or something? Do you have
Right.
that?
Yep. So that would be the employment practices liability that I mentioned.
Okay.
Again, depending on various states, some states are can be more punitive than others in those matters, like what you just stated right there, right? Wrongful termination, harassment. There was one case I know in California here about 10 years ago. I
Mm.
won't say the name of the company. I mean, you could probably Google it, but a large auto parts provider that ultimately got hit with a very large employment practices liability uh, uh,
Yeah.
a suit, and ultimately was the plaintiff was awarded a sizable amount of both a punitive and multiplied damages. That ultimately, I think, kind of sends a message to the business community that with as respects to any kind of employment matters, like I said, making sure your handbook is in place and people understand it. Employees and managers are both trained in how to deal with one another, particularly when it comes to managers, because there's a increased amount of liability when you're managing, when one person is responsible for other people. And so, again, insurance, from a transfer risk perspective, is definitely designed to help shore up the balance sheet. But a lot of insurers also have some great added value services themselves in terms of supporting businesses in mitigating the risk of when claims happen.
Yeah, and also the if the company do the mobile let's say mobile botox, that's auto insurance will also can be applied, right?
I'm sorry, can you say that
Yeah,
again?
if people have their own, the company ABC company that bought a vehicle, that you we also need to insure the car, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Should be auto
absolutely.
insurance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. There's the commercial auto insurance as well. Whether it be owned auto or not, whether you have a fleet of automobiles, commercial auto liability is definitely key as well. You have different
Yes.
people driving the cars, so it definitely is important to ensure that. Yep.
Yeah, and then how about the weather? Specifically, we are here in Dallas, Texas. I know hail. It's a different type of insurance. Is there a type of insurance regarding those type of weather? Flood. There's another one, the flood insurance.
Correct, correct. So we have flood insurance as well. There's commercial property insurance, which covers any kind of wind or hail damage. Flood, that's definitely a good product to have, but subject to different, depending on the area that you're in. If you're not in a flood zone, that might be something that you might be able to bypass. Say if you're looking to take it easy on your costs and expenses. But yeah, flood is definitely something that if you're in a flood zone, I would encourage one to look into, as well as the commercial property. If you're owning a building, definitely if you're one that's say for example real estate investors that are looking to
Yes.
purchase buildings, even if it's one for development, or they're looking to buy it and sell it quickly. You just never know what can happen. So commercial property insurance is definitely important as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well, those are the basic guidelines of the insurance. I hope you guys have some takeaways on this. If you have further question, by the way, Damien, before I present my company, I would like them to know more about your company. How would they contact you?
Sure, absolutely. You can reach us at www.davisinsure services.com,
Uh-huh.
as well as you can look us up on LinkedIn. We have the company page, Davis Insurance Services, and you can always connect with me, Damian Davis, on LinkedIn.
And by the way, can they, if they're not in Texas, can they still get your service?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are looking to expand our footprint. Right now, we are licensed in Texas, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, and soon to be in California. And we'll continue to roll out into more states as we continue to grow.
All right, there you go, guys. We have Damon Davis who can help you with your insurance needs. And Damon, stay for me for a while. I'm just gonna plug in because it's tax season. This is what we do on our company, and our company is an all year round, all in one. accounting and wealth planning service solution. So what we do is, we work with Damien with our insurance, but I also refer him to more clients that are either startups or they need additional insurance. But at the same time, our company's goal are to make sure to increase your cash flow by reducing your taxes. So we, for professionals making 90,000 and up, we identify what is the source of income coming from, and we help them to minimize those by parking their money to either tax deferred or tax free income. So that's why we are giving a discount. Yeah, there you go. Because it's already April 15 coming up. If you cannot file on time, you just have to avail our services and we will file your extension for free when you sign up to our accounting and tax filing services. And just a reminder, a friendly reminder, public service announcement. Don't miss out the April 15 deadline to file your taxes because, Damien, the filing, there are two penalties here. If you don't file on time, there's a penalty of not filing on time. And then there's another one of not paying on time. So those are two different penalties. That's why make sure if you cannot file, you file an extension before April 15 and pay the estimated taxes that you think that you will owe the IRS. Otherwise, you will receive a lot of interest and penalty letters from them. So, what is our company? What we do offer is we make sure that we make it easier for you to run your business. We have a bundle offer where we do your bookkeeping and tax. So this covers the reconciliation and cleaning up your books from January last year up to December. We also handle any audit from the IRS only if we do your bookkeeping and tax filing for your 2023 and you have a dedicated virtual accountant to handle and answer all your questions on the entire year. We also make sure that we can give you a 10,000 tax-free savings report. That's also exclusive to our valued clients. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today. These are the pillars of our services. We do accounting, we have a third party for medical billing, tax planning, and also loan processing, Damon. So we can help the client to bridge the gap of cash flow. Our accountants are certified in QuickBooks, and I myself and my company is an IRS certified acceptance agent, and we are also affiliated with Legal Shield. So there you go. All you have to do is contact us. This is how we work with our clients. Again, I want it more digestible, Damien, presenting to the client. They understand what work we do is we dissect the business entity, your record keeping, your business expenses, tax credits, the available tax shelter plan from 401k defined benefits, and lastly, tax filing. So all of these slices of the pizza will help us to provide you a 10,000 tax savings pizza pie chart. All right. We are in cloud-based accounting where that's why we have Damien on board. So we're giving peace of mind. We want you to save headaches, save time, and save money. But most importantly is to have a faster access to grants and loans available for you. And why WICO tax? Because WYCO stands for Worry-Free Year-Round Competitive and On-Time Tax Payroll or Accounting Business Service Solution. There you go. Again, we have ongoing discount for you. Do not miss out. This is only before the end of April. What are you waiting for? Or before April 15th, sign up and book your 30-minute free consultation on us. All right. Again, watch us on our live chat. Again, let me go back. We always do this every. Okay, there's a question, Damien. So we're gonna answer some questions here. Uh, he said, "Can you offer it in Florida?"
Yes, so we are working on. We have Florida on the radar now. So stay tuned. It'll definitely be in the future. But not currently. No, we're not licensed in Florida.
Yes. Okay. So all right. So Miss Valencia, thank you for that question. Do you have further question? Let's see on our audience. Or okay. So Miss Valencia, thank you for coming. Do you have further question?
Yes.
Go
So
ahead.
I asked him, are he licensed in Florida?
Yeah, absolutely, Miss Valencia. So we are currently not licensed in Florida. We have Florida on the radar. So stay tuned. We probably should be about the end of the year before we're in Florida. So hopefully we'll have a chance to work with you.
Oh, okay, okay. It was very good information that I heard from you guys, which So the cyber insurance is the best insurance to get. So it's not like the general insurance. It's totally different. Or do that the cyber do it includes the liability general insurance, or no? It's separate.
Yes, ma'am. So they are separate insurance products. General liability policies sometimes do have a cyber insurance exclusion. Sometimes they can actually offer a cyber insurance sublimit, but we always advise our clients to look at a standalone cyber insurance policy just so they can get the full benefits of the limits as well as the coverage.
Because that is a small business. So the small, I heard you say it'll be better for the small business. So like, what do that require when you are small business? Like the monthly payment or like the down payment for the fiber insurance.
Sure. So cyber insurance premiums are annual premiums. Different companies do offer payment options, so you can set it up to where you can pay monthly. If in the event that say the insurance company doesn't offer a monthly option, there are what are called premium finance companies that charge a small interest rate. But ultimately, the premium itself is an annual premium. And
Hmm.
again, cyber insurance, especially in the current market, is relatively inexpensive. So I encourage everyone to look into it and take advantage of it while they can.
Oh, okay. Only thing is, I can't do it because it's not offered here, or it's offered here. It's just your company is not offering it here.
Absolutely. Yep. So we'll hopefully look to be in Florida soon and work with you.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Miss Valencia, don't worry. I'll give you the contact information of Damien. And
Hmm.
we also have a replay of this on our YouTube channel. But thank you
Okay.
so much for that question, Miss Valencia. And I hope
Thank
you're
you
enjoying the weather
guys.
in Florida.
I love it
But
here.
yeah, by the way, Damien, can you stay for a bit after this? Okay, let me just end this show because we would like to give you more information about your business to enable for it to run efficiently. Because again, here in Waiko Tax, just like you, your tax needs a break. Thank you, everyone.